a big fight this weekend. The Barclays Center in New York. Devin Haney defends his WBC super lightweight title against Ryan Garcia. I say big fight. This is, bear in mind, this is a pay-per-view fight. I feel like it should feel bigger, or maybe I'm doing it a bit of an injustice. I feel like maybe this fight lacks something. I don't know what it is. I actually felt like Prograis versus Haney felt a bit bigger for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe because it was a case of they were doing it in Devin's hometown of San Fran. So maybe there was a case of that, Devin going back to his home city. But I feel like this has just lacked a bit of spice for some reason. Maybe.
And then also they hadn't had a big fight. Remember, I lived in San Fran for the best part of 2.5 years. And there was not one fight there at the time. And there hasn't been a big fight there for a while. So it was a big occasion. I mean, the last time I think I'd been to a fight in San Francisco was when, or Oakland, the Raiders, was when Chael Sonnen fought Anderson Silva, and that was a big event there. The Oracle, the Oracle Arena, and it lends itself to great fights. So yeah, it was a big event. That it has gone under the radar. I mean, the storyline really has been the contretemps between the two guys at another fight they both turned up for. I can't remember which now. Remember when they had a row and Garcia pushed Haney?
What fight was that?
I'm trying to.
I can't even think of what fights have happened. Was that not at the Super Bowl?
It might have been at the
Super Bowl. Might have been that. Yeah,
the Super Bowl. Yeah, I think it was. You're right. It was at the Super Bowl in February. And then since then, Devin, they had a press conference. They had a press conference tour, didn't they? In 2 or 3 day tour, and then really all the news is focused on Ryan Garcia's mental health.
Yeah, that's it.
And that's been the storyline all the way through. And I was just watching him before we came on air this morning, and he's still playing with us, in my view.
Yeah, and I'm like, the playing, I mean, hopefully it's a case of him trying to promote the fight, but I almost feel like because he's played so much, so many people are not giving him a prayer now, so it could backfire where they don't tune in. Because, we don't think he's got a chance anymore, he's not serious. So I don't know if this is him trying to sell the fight. I actually think he needs to stop, because I feel like it's doing the opposite now.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I was about to do a Zoom with him last week, and that didn't come off on the media day that he had last week. Let's talk about it potentially being today. I might speak to Devin Haney later today as well. I want to ask him: is it a bit of a distraction? Everyone saying that Garcia isn't in great mental state, but I suppose he'll just have been doing his game. His dad, Bill Haney, keeps him on course, and I think what I notice about Haney is he's growing all the time, and he's looking more like a man. He doesn't look like a boy so much anymore. Physically, he's changing.
Yes.
But here's the thing for me. If Ryan Garcia gets roundly beaten in this contest, and I think he'll be very competitive for 6 rounds, that's my feeling, there might not be so much of an appetite for him to have those very big fights. Because I think the loss to Tank Davis, the body shot, even though all the odds were stacked against him in terms of contractually, if Haney does a number on him on Saturday night, Addy, in New York, I think his cachet will have been really stripped away, and I don't see there being mega fights out there for him for a while.
Completely agree. I completely agree with you. He's a superstar, and we all understand the following he's got, but ultimately you need to be competitive in the ring if people are going to want to see you fight. And if he does, and look, we always wanted to see these guys mix it with each other, right? Teofimo, Shakur, Javante, Devin, Ryan, but we also wanted to see them be in competitive fights against each other. And if he were to get soundly beaten, and that looks like it's the way it might go, by the way, on Saturday by Devin, then that could be that in terms of a pay-per-view bums on seats guy for Ryan. I do, and that's a shame, but that could happen. On Devin, quickly, I almost feel like he doesn't get his plaudits as much as he should. But here's a guy that's 25, took himself at the beginning of his career to Mexico to have fights because he couldn't, get a pro license in America because he was too young. He's had 31 fights at 25 years of age, which doesn't really happen anymore in boxing. You know this, Gareth.
Yeah,
And you look at who he's fought as well. I mean, Abdulayev, Gamboa, Regis Prograis, Vasily Lomachenko, Jorge Linares, George Kambosos, and now Ryan Garcia. He's fighting the names. He's given us what we want.
Oh yeah, look, his growth has been extraordinary. Throwing Regis Prograis in there as well. Maybe you did or didn't just then, but he's been very, very well managed. And for me, he's arguably the most the most augmented fighter in the last 2 years in America. I don't think there's another guy who's been in against the same level of opponents. His resume is incredible, so he deserves all the accolades that he's getting right now for being that number one. He's on the way to greatness, and I think personally, I don't, unless Ryan Garcia pulls out one of those punches from hell on Saturday night and gets those hooks away and hurts Devin. They fought each other 6 times already in the amateurs, so they know what each other's like. I just think Devin will literally take over the fight from rounds 5 onwards. And I think he'll win convincingly on points, or if not, by late stoppage. I just see him doing it. And after this, then really, there's Shaka Stevenson for him, Tank Davis for him, maybe even, can I say Terence Crawford for him at welterweight? He won't do that fight because it will blemish his rise. But imagine him against Terence Crawford at welterweight after a fight with, let's say, Tank Davis after this. I mean, he's big enough.
He's got the options, right? You can be as good as you want, but if you haven't got any dance partners, it means nothing. So you just mentioned a few dance partners. Teofimo Lopez, it could be a name as well, 140 pounds.
I think he beats Lopez.
Jaron Boots Ennis at 147, who Matchroom have just signed. I mean, there you go.
Well, I surely Eddie Hearn is going after the Terence Crawford fight with Boots Ennis. Surely he's doing that.
Yeah, surely, 100%. I mean, hopefully they can offer Terence something ridiculous to get Terence back in the ring, because I have no idea what Terence is doing right now. Have the fight of the year last year and you haven't fought since. And I think Terence is going to be 38 soon, which is incredible. 38, Terence Crawford.
No mileage on the clock. No mileage.
You're right. And he lives the life. He lives the life completely.